The only way to reduce the risk that this effort will again falter because of politics is if members of both parties are willing to take responsibility for solving this problem once and for all.
President Obama at American University today calling on Congress to come together and pass comprehensive immigration reform. Joining us now, Congressman Luis Gutierrez of Illinois, chairman of the Immigration Task Force of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. And you were at the speech, Congressman, and you've been critical in the past for the president not fulfilling his campaign pledge to act on comprehensive reform during his first year in office. You were there, so are you satisfied with what you heard today?
I'm happy with what I heard today, Andrea. It's a very good beginning. It's a very good foundation. I heard kind of teacher Obama, right? Professor Obama, which we know he can be very good. There were no applause lines. There shouldn't be any applause lines. It was a serious, statesman-like speech in which he outlines the need for comprehensive immigration reform, what the component parts are. And he spoke about the need for having Republican votes, which is necessary. Look, we can get 90% of the votes from the Democratic Party, both in the Senate and in the House, for comprehensive immigration reform. But we don't have them. We need Republican votes. So in that sense, I think he was speaking to them. And here's the other thing I'm happy he did today. Because what I've been calling upon the president to do is to take action and set the dining room table, right? Set the menu, invite us to the dinner and tell us how it is, what the menu is. He set the menu today. And what he did today is that we have the Southern Baptist Convention leadership there. And now all of a sudden we have Rupert Murdoch and we have the mayor, Bloomberg. We have evangelical leaders from throughout the country. We have very many great conservative voices coming and saying, we're with you, Mr. President. He was speaking to them and not to those of us that have already signed on.
But you still need Republicans on the Hill. Now, you've got, for instance, Congressman Jeff Flake, who co-sponsored bipartisan legislation back in 2007 and is still yet to hear from the president, from the White House. Why haven't they been working this harder?
Well, I'll tell you what, I agree with you, and that's my complaint. They haven't been working it harder. It's a new beginning. You know, Andrea, one thing about Washington, D.C. is that we do complain, we do raise our voices, we do demand action. I think that that is very, very appropriate, especially when you feel that those in high places, such as the president, the executive, isn't doing their job. But today he began to do his job. We can't just reach back and say, well, it took him too long. No. We're here. We're moving forward. Jeff Flake was 2 seats away from me. I'm going to engage him. I think it's my personal responsibility to also reach out to him to begin. You say that Jeff Flake. It was Jeff Flake and I that introduced the comprehensive immigration legislation here in the House of Representatives. It's time for, I don't want to put him in a position, it's time for people like Jeff Flake and I, who in the past have had conversations and have formed alliances, to begin to say, is this a new moment for us? And the president, I believe, set the stage in such a manner in which we can all come together. Because you know what? What can you really argue about? He said he's going to secure our border. We're going to go after employers here. We're going to give a pathway to legalization that isn't amnesty. He says they're going to have to register with the government. They're going to have to pay a fine. They're going to have to get in the back of the line. They're going to have to learn English. But most importantly, he's going to give them an opportunity to integrate themselves. And at the same time, he spoke about immigrants in a very positive fashion in terms of their contributions to our nation.
All of the above, and now the real hard work begins. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Yes, Andrea. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, good to see you anytime.